Every smartphone has a story. Every car has a supply chain. Every fighter aircraft has thousands of components. And behind every modern economy, there is a factory. For decades, the world's manufacturing center of gravity was concentrated elsewhere. But now, India wants a big role. Can India become the world's factory? Can Indian factories supply the world? And can manufacturing become one of the engines that takes India toward Viksit Bharat 2047? Manufacturing already matters enormously to India, but here is the challenge. If India wants to become a major global manufacturing power, it has to go beyond simply assembling products. It has to build the ecosystem behind them components, machines, materials, design, technology, logistics, and skilled workers. The Make in India vision was built around a simple idea. India shouldn't merely consume products made elsewhere. India should make them. But today's manufacturing race is different from the industrial race of the 20th century. The competition is no longer just about cheap labor, it is about speed, technology, quality, scale, and supply chain reliability. Perhaps nowhere is India's manufacturing transformation more visible than electronics. India's electronics production increased from roughly 1.9 lakh crore in 2014 to 15 to 13.11 lakh crore in 2025-26. That's approximately a seven-fold increase. Electronics export reached roughly rupees 4.24 lakh crore, and mobile production exploded from roughly 18,000 crore to 6.27 lakh crore. But there is a bigger question. Can India move from assembling electronics to designing and manufacturing the critical components inside them? A smartphone isn't one product, it is an ecosystem, and that's true for almost everything. The stronger the domestic component ecosystem, the greater the value India can capture from each product. Now we reach the most strategic part of the manufacturing race semiconductors. Modern economies run on chips, cars, phones, AI systems, telecommunications, defense, space, power electronics. Almost everything depends on them. India's semiconductor program began with 76,000 crore Semicon India program. In 2026, the government approved Semicon India program 2.0 with a total outlay of 1.275 lakh crore. As of July 2026, 12 semiconductor manufacture units had been approved, involving more than 1.64 lakh crore of investment. The government's fastest, but semiconductor manufacturing is brutally difficult. It requires capital, ultra clean facilities, specialist chemicals, precision equipment, engineering talent, and years of technical learning. Manufacturing isn't only about economics. For India, it is also about national security. A country that depends heavily on foreign suppliers for critical defense equipment can face strategic vulnerabilities. That is why India has increased defense production. And the ambition is no longer simply to manufacture for India, it is to manufacture for the world. Global companies learned a difficult lesson in recent years. Supply chains can be disrupted. A pandemic, a war, a shipping crisis, a geopolitical conflict. Suddenly, a factory thousands of kilometers away can become a national economic problem. For India, this creates an opportunity. But opportunity alone isn't enough. Companies will choose only India if it can compete on cost, quality, infrastructure, skills, regulation, and reliability. Here's something most people don't see. A factory isn't just a building, it is connected to thousands of kilometers of infrastructure, roads, railways, ports, air cargo, warehouses, power grids, digital systems. If it takes longer and most cost more to move a product from an Indian factory to a global customer, India becomes less competitive. And then there is the most important question, jobs. Manufacturing can create employment not only inside factories but throughout entire supply chains, transport, maintenance, packaging, engineering, design, logistics, services, small businesses. That is why manufacturing matters so much to India's demographic future. So, can India become the world's factory? The honest answer, India can become much more bigger global manufacturing power, but becoming the world's factory is a much higher bar. India doesn't have to copy another country's model. It needs to build its own model. The winning formula could be simple to describe, make in India, but the execution is anything but simple. India must move from assembly to components, from components to design, from design to intellectual property, and from domestic production to global brands. Imagine India in 2047, not just a country that buys technology, but a country that builds it. Not just an exporter of services, but an exporter of products. Not just a larger consumer market, but one of the world's great production centers. The factory floor may not look glamorous. There are no red carpets, no stadium crowds, no instant headlines, but behind every powerful industry's nation, there are millions of people working, making things. And India has the market, India has the talent, India has the ambition. Now comes the real test. Can India build at a scale and build for the world?